Greta Thunberg wrote this op-ed for The Guardian. At Davos, we will tell world leaders to abandon the fossil fuel economy. You know what I love more than anything about Greta and this faux environmentalist left is that they're basically Wonder Woman in the latest Wonder Woman movie, where they think by slaying the god of war, they will end climate change. There is no head to the beast. It is running around. It is a chicken. The chicken already doesn't have a head. It is a headless chicken spinning in circles. The real problem is you. You and me and Greta and everyone else. The real problem is that we're wasteful. That's what it's all about. So here's what I love about this. You know what you need to do to change minds and make the world a better place? Encourage investment in new technologies, which I will respect if Greta goes and does, and encourage people to get better lights, to use less water. But there's a really, really easy thing you can say to people, and I say it all the time. Listen, I'll tell you this right now. How would you like to save 15% or more on your electric bill? You can do so by switching to cleaner means. Recycling, reusable straws. There's a bunch of things you can do that actually can save you a ton of money. Hey, saving money is great. You get better bulbs. It might cost you twice as much today, but it'll save you 3-4 times as much in the long run. The bulbs won't die out. So we have this story. I'm not gonna read the Greta Thunberg op-ed simply because Guardian's locked me out. But I do have the Washington Examiner talking about what happened, and I must absolutely point out the hilarity of Greta Thunberg. She really went to Davos? You know where Davos is? It's Switzerland, right? I've been to Davos. It was expensive. I hated it. Of all the places, the privileged uber elite that is Greta. I just love it. Listen, while she's up there ranting and raving about how, everybody else needs to change their lives and take all these dramatic actions, and these executives have to bend over backwards, she is the epitome of global privilege, complaining that we have stolen her childhood, and how dare you? How dare you, I say, madam, going to Davos of all places. Now, I know that's where you need to be to point out these people. I get that. I just think it's rather silly that she is the epitome of global elite and wealth and privilege, and she has no idea how the real world works. In an op-ed published days before political and business leaders meet at the annual Davos World Economic Forum in Switzerland, 17-year-old climate change activist Greta Thunberg blasted older generations for not moving quickly to meet her demands for nations to completely divest from fossil fuels. How insane is that? Do you have any idea how many people will die if they turned off fossil fuels right now? Do you have any idea how much of our infrastructure is completely dependent on fossil fuels? Dude, I would like us to start weaning off fossil fuels. I love the idea of renewable, they call it renewable, but cleaner energies, right? Solar, wind, tidal, hydroelectric, whatever. She tweeted, "We don't want these things done by 2050, 2030, or even 2021. We want this done now, as in right now, so that tens and hundreds of millions of people will die overnight when they have no heat, no food, no transportation." You see, that doesn't work. It works on paper when you know nothing. It's easy to stand up on your soapbox, your ivory, it's an ivory soapbox, and stand above everyone and say, "We want it done now, how dare you?" And then there are people literally starving to death who are completely dependent on the next shipment of petroleum or fossil fuels to help them farm to save their lives. Yeah, humans have a serious problem. Killing a bunch of people, is that what you really want? They say this, quote, "Young people are being let down by an older generation and those in power," wrote the Swedish teenager in The Guardian. "To some, it may seem like we are asking for a lot. Yes, the death of millions of people. But this is just the very minimum effort needed to start this rapid, sustainable transition. The fact that this still is in 2020 hasn't been done already, quite frankly, is a disgrace." Let me just repeat. What she's basically saying is, we need to let millions of people die today. Seriously. Maybe she just doesn't know that, But that would mean something even scarier. An ignorant child who left school, who doesn't understand the complete dependence, the near complete dependence we have in a lot of ways on fossil fuels, is saying, right now, divest, shut it down. Thunberg apologized in December after stating the world leaders should be put against the wall if they refuse to meet her demands on environmental policy. Now, that's unfair, Examiner. Let me clarify. In America, we know what it means to put someone against the wall. It means to kill them. In Sweden, it means just to like, push them up against the wall and give them a scolding. I asked some people I knew in Sweden, they said, no, it just means like, you know how you have that trope of the principal grabbing the kid and pushing him against the wall and wagging his finger? It's like that, not like the Soviet one. However, there is still a kind of slight overlap in how, don't say that. We demand that this year's forum participants from all companies, banks, institutions, and governments immediately halt all investments in fossil fuel exploration and extraction, immediately end all fossil fuel subsidies, and immediately and completely divest from fossil fuels. Time magazine named her Person of the Year. Yeah, we get it. Listen, man. I can't remember who said it. The reason it takes time, okay, to get out of the fossil fuel industry is because we have to replace it with something. Like, could you imagine if someone came by and said, we're shutting the heat off to your house? You would die. In fact, Rachel Maddow actually claimed in a segment, Russia might turn the power off in Fargo, perhaps, in the middle of winter, and people will freeze to death. Well, Greta Thunberg is arguing for that. Look, I know she's not directly saying, shut down their heat so they die in the winter. I know what she's really saying. Fossil fuels are bad and they're destroying the world. Stop using them. Okay, if we did that right now, yes, you would then turn off someone's heat in the dead of winter. It's January. Not a smart idea, right? Okay, when can we fully get those homes retrofitted so people can survive in the winter? By 2021? In a year? Probably not. So if you want to shut it down now, I assure you, you will kill a lot of people. That's what I can't stand about these people. They don't care about humanity. They're egotists, they're hedonists, they're driven by their own personal self-satisfaction. Thunberg posted a link to her opinion piece and said, warning adults not to twist her words because child climate activists live under constant threat just for communicating the situation we are in. No, don't worry. She said, and please remember, many of us who have signed this are children. Many of us live under constant threat just for communicating the situation we are in. So do not make up your own quotes or twist our words. Quote what we actually say instead. I don't care if you're a child. If a petulant child comes to me and says, shut off their heat, I don't care if they die in the winter. I'll say, you're a stupid child, and I'm not going to sacrifice that elderly family because you have no idea what you're talking about. Many of us, the adults in the room, actually understand the threat climate change poses. Many conservatives don't agree, so you know what we're doing? We're trying to get them on board while making sure people don't starve to death and die. Meanwhile, the children are screeching and having a temper tantrum. And when the adults say, quiet, they go, don't yell at me, I'm a child. I don't care. I don't care how old you are. If a 10-year-old started screaming, listen, man, if a 5-year-old was screaming because there was like a sawhorse in the middle of the road stopping cars from barreling into a farmer's market, I would say, we're not moving the sawhorse, dude. Sorry. I know you want to clear the streets, but there's people here. We can't just let cars drive through the market. Give us a day to clear the debris. They might be screaming, look at all this garbage. We need to remove it. Yes, we're actively trying to remove it. They may say, look at this thing, this infrastructure, this road. It's a bad thing. It needs to be changed. We need to improve it, this bridge. Okay, we can't just tear everything down like that. There are people who rely on these things. So this is the problem I ultimately have, right? Greta Thunberg, AOC, these far leftists preach these things that literally can't be implemented because, first of all, imagine someone came to you and said, the road in the driveway in front of your home is bad for the local, rabbits. You'd be like, okay, I would like to fix that. When can I get someone to tear up the driveway, lay down sod and dirt and grass, and then build a new alternative? Well, scheduling could take a long time. City inspections, I got to raise the money. I think I can have it done in a year. No, we refuse. You must do it now. And then they show up with pitchforks and our pickaxes. No, you literally can't do anything. You're talking about moving the global infrastructure over right now. It's never going to happen, man. And then the other problem is with AOC and all that is that they're proposing, money for people unwilling to work. I know they got rid of it. They're talking about, they talk about slowly replacing planes with high-speed rails to make planes less necessary. And then you literally have in the UK activists blocking the production of a high-speed rail literally for the purpose of lowering their carbon emissions. So you know what, man? Greta, here's what I want you to do. Here's my favorite. Greta, will you please go to the UK and ask those protesters blocking the high-speed rail to move? Because they're trying to reduce their carbon emissions. I'm going to end with this. I really want to do this segment. I recommend, it's an idea I want to see implemented called the Greta Thunberg Challenge. I'd like you to go outside wearing a nice, polo shirt and khakis, wave and smile, shake people's hands, explain to them very quickly, here's some of the problems with climate change. Some of the ways we can improve this is by you turning your lights off, using low flow, showers and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that are going to improve the environment and at an individual level. Use reusable products. You can buy reusable straws where you just rinse them out and you don't got to throw them away. That's it. You do those little things, and if everyone did, we would dramatically reduce our carbon footprint. Thank you for your time. Do that, and then the Greta Thunberg Challenge is to stand out there scowling, and then someone walks by you, you go, "You're stealing my childhood! How dare you!" And see if they respond, and see if they agree to make positive changes to improve the environment. What's that? They run away from you, screeching, or calling the police, calling you a crazy person. You see why these people are problematic? Go out and tell someone that we want to shut off the heat from someone's house today to get off fossil fuels, and they're going to say, but they'll die. Yeah, well, it's the sacrifice they want to make, apparently. Okay, Greta. Go chill in Davos with the global elites who spend thousands of dollars to party and do these big events. I know if you're in Europe, it's not as hard to get there, I guess, so she's Swedish. But Davos, of all places, the World Economic Forum, literally the epitome of global privileged elite telling the rest of the world to sacrifice what little they have. We have lifted people out of poverty, and guess what? We used fossil fuels to do it. I would like to see a positive change. We're not going to do it tonight, because I am not going to take away the comforts and the security of the elderly and of the poor because you're upset. Okay? Sorry, it's not going to happen. I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast 6:30. Thanks for hanging out.